They echo with surprising power. The one enthroned in heaven laughs, the Lord scoffs at them. Have you ever wondered, what makes God laugh from above? Or what would the story of someone look like who discovered the power behind this divine laughter amid life's struggles? Come with me. Dive into this story that may warm your soul and reveal what it truly means to trust in a God who stands above every challenge. Clara's story. At 51, Clara sat on a park bench, a gentle breeze stirring the yellow leaves of a nearby tree. In her hands was a small Bible, its margins filled with handwritten notes open to Psalm 2:4. The one enthroned in heaven laughs, the Lord scoffs at them. She had read these words on a morning of deep despair. They felt strange, almost confrontational. How could God laugh when her life felt so heavy? The verse stirred her to reflect on the winding roads behind her and to look forward with a timid hope just beginning to bloom. Clara grew up in a bustling city, the daughter of hard-working parents who struggled to make ends meet. From a young age, she learned how to be independent, to fight for everything she wanted. By 25, she became a sales manager at a cosmetics company, climbing to the top through sheer determination. People admired her, some even feared her, for her ability to close deals and lead teams. But success had a price. Clara lived to prove her worth, often ignoring whoever got hurt along the way. That's how the world works, she told herself, pushing aside the quiet whispers of her conscience. At 35, everything came crashing down. The company was bought out and she was abruptly fired. The same colleagues who once praised her now turned their backs. The final blow came when she discovered her fiancé, whom she had planned to marry, was cheating on her with her close friend. Clara felt like the world itself was laughing at her, mocking her blind trust in success and people. Broken, she moved to a smaller town, desperate for a fresh start. On a rainy afternoon, unpacking boxes in her new apartment, Clara stumbled upon a gift from her late great-aunt Lourdes, a woman of deep faith. It was an old Bible with a note inside. Clara, God is always in control. Read Psalm 2 when the world feels too big. Curiosity stirred her heart. She opened the psalm and read verse 4. God's laughter puzzled her. Was it cruel? Was it victorious? She didn't know, but she knew she needed answers. The laughter of heaven. Clara began attending a small local church, not out of conviction but curiosity. There she met Sister Margarita, a 63-year-old Sunday school teacher, with kind eyes that seemed to see right into the soul. Over coffee after service, Clara asked, Margarita, why does God laugh? What's funny about suffering? Margarita smiled gently. God doesn't laugh at us, Clara. He laughs at those who think they can defy him. It's the laughter of someone who knows that no human plan can ever overturn his will. Her words made Clara think deeply. She thought about the kings in Psalm 2, the ones who plot against God. She saw them reflected in her old bosses, her colleagues, and even in herself. The laughter of God, Margarita explained, is a reminder that he reigns above all powers, above every human scheme. When you trust him, Clara, that laughter becomes your protection. It's like knowing the greatest king in the universe is on your side. Inspired, Clara began reading the Bible more intentionally. She soon found a job at a small artisan shop, humble but meaningful. Day by day, she realized her past hunger for power had blinded her to what truly mattered: real connections, inner peace, and a greater purpose. Facing the challenges. At 40, another storm rolled in. An old co-worker, Ricardo, showed up in her town, now the owner of a large chain of stores. He offered Clara a lucrative management position. "You're too good to waste your time selling trinkets," he said, his voice a blend of charm and arrogance. But Clara knew Ricardo. He embodied exactly what Psalm 2 described, someone living as if they could shape the world to their own liking, no matter who got crushed along the way. She hesitated. The salary could fix a lot: pay off debts, renovate her house, fund long-held dreams. But that night, as she prayed, Psalm 2:4 echoed again in her heart. God's laughter reminded her that Ricardo's grand plans were nothing compared to God's sovereignty. She turned the offer down, choosing peace over power. Ricardo laughed, mocking her as naive, but Clara stood firm. Let him laugh, she thought. God's laughter is stronger than any mockery on earth. A place of peace. Time passed, and Clara's life flourished, not with riches, but with purpose. She became co-owner of the artisan shop, working alongside local craftsmen to create pieces that carried meaning and beauty. The shop became a gathering place, a sanctuary where people shared stories while picking out gifts. At church, Clara joined the women's support group, helping others who, like her, had faced betrayal, loss, and disappointment. She shared her journey openly, showing how God's laughter had helped her realize that no human plan could overpower his care. One woman in particular, Sonia, 49, became her close friend. Sonia battled the pain of a broken marriage and the lingering guilt of not being enough. Sitting over tea one evening, Clara read Psalm 2:4 aloud to her. "Sonia, God laughs because he knows that nothing can stand against him. Not what broke you, not what made you doubt. He is still in control." Sonia wept, but her tears were the beginning of healing. At 51, Clara lived a life of simplicity, yet she had never been wealthier in peace and purpose. Her home was filled with handmade art and photos of dear friends. She adopted a cat, Luna, who kept her company during quiet evenings of reading. At church, her presence inspired many, and she lived under the sound of God's laughter, not a laughter of mockery, but of victory, a holy reminder that God holds the throne. The meaning of Psalm 2:4, "The one enthroned in heaven laughs, the Lord scoffs at them." This verse is God's response to the rebellion described earlier in the psalm, where nations and kings conspire against him and his anointed. God's laughter is not cruel, it's a declaration of his sovereignty. He laughs because no human plan, no earthly power can ever match his purposes. God's laughter, it's the sound of supreme confidence. The kings of Psalm 2, whether powerful leaders, overwhelming circumstances, or even our own pride, have no real power before God. Clara saw this in Ricardo and in her own futile attempts to control her life. Divine sovereignty. This verse reminds us that God reigns above everything. He isn't caught off guard by human conspiracies. His laughter comforts those who trust in him. It's the sound of a God whose plans cannot be shaken, an invitation to trust. For Clara, God's laughter was a turning point. She realized she didn't have to fear the pressures of this world. Trusting God meant resting in his sovereignty, knowing he lovingly guides those who walk with him. A reflection for your heart. Dear reader, have you ever felt like the world was conspiring against you? Maybe it's people trying to pull you off course, overwhelming circumstances, or even your own doubts. Psalm 2:4 is a gentle reminder to listen for the laughter of God, not a laughter of cruelty, but of victory. He laughs because he is in control. No plan of man is greater than his. Clara learned that trusting God leads to peace, even when the world feels too big. And you? Are you still fighting alone? Or will you rest in the one who laughs at the challenges, knowing he holds your life in his hands? May your life be anchored in the truth that God, enthroned above, laughs, and because of that you can face any storm with unshakable peace.